Welcome back, guys and gals, to another episode of Raven's Reviews. Today we are reviewing Tiny Tina's Wonderlands. Now, Tiny Tina's Wonderlands is a spin-off in the Borderlands gaming series, making it the fourth game in its series. Tiny Tina's Wonderlands is an action role-playing first-person shooter video game developed by Gearbox and 2K. And this particular Borderlands game is set within the world of a fantasy-themed tabletop role-playing game, also known as D&D. Now, before we jump into this, guys, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe if you're new. Hit that notification icon so you know when all of my videos go live. And let's jump right into it. Now, in Tiny Tina's Wonderlands, you play in a fantasy-themed tabletop role-playing game named Bunkers and Badasses, also known as D&D in the human world. Now, the dungeon master, called Tiny Tina, is also your bunker master, more commonly referred to as your dungeon master. You play alongside other NPCs as well as other players in up to a 4-player online co-op if you so choose, or you can play alone in solo as well. So the story starts with you being a newbie to the game and getting told that you must defeat this big bad that gets introduced at the start of the game. Now, you get to pick your character based on a class-based system. Another good thing about this game, and different from previous Borderlands series, is that once you have picked a class, you can multi-class as well at a certain degree in the game. Now, every class comes with 2 choices of skills, so only one can be active at a time unless you are a certain class that can use both skills at the same time, or when you multi-class and then you can use 2 skills there. So in the background here, you'll see that I'm about midway through the game and I'm actually completing side challenges here because, as you guys know, I'm a trophy hunter, and for one of the trophies you must go and complete all side missions, which isn't that bad, which is why you may see me standing around and stuttering. Now, speaking of classes, I will give you a quick brief description of what those 7 classes, yes that's correct, 7 classes, are available to you in the game. So you have your Berserker, your Clawbringer, a Graveborn, Spellshot, Spore Warden, and your Stabbermancer, and with the new 7th one being Blightcaller. Now, Blightcaller was added recently with its addition of its additional dungeons as endgame content as a DLC. Now, if you guys choose to look it up, feel free to look at the classes and you will see close resemblances to your classic D&D classes, such as your Archer, your Rogue, your Mage, etc, etc. Now, personally, in this you will see that I am playing as the Clawbringer, who is also multi-classed with the Spore Warden. That allows me to have 2 pets and also deal a heck of a lot of elemental damage, with the Clawbringer bringing me fire and electric, and the Spore Warden bringing me toxic abilities. Now, another good thing about this game is that with the addition of the Spore Warden companion, he can actually res you in fights. Now, this allows for especially a lot of solo play. If you do go down and you can't get your final kill, you will be able to be rezzed by your Spore Warden if he can get to you in time. Another change to the game is that in previous games you had grenades. In this game you have spells. So you not only have your action skill, you now have a spell slot in position of your grenade slot. So the spells can be found just like normal grenade mods that you would in previous Borderlands games. However, in this one, all of your spells change every time you pick up a new spell mod. So in this one, you'll see that I throw some sort of icicle. In another, you could call down a meteor. In another, you could shoot magic missiles, for example. Now, personally, I very much enjoyed the story. I would definitely rate it very highly, especially as a fan of previous Borderlands series and a fan of a fantasy and D&D theme, obviously you still have your unhinged characters, like I said earlier, Tiny Tina, and the commentary and the humour in this game is definitely up there, and it's definitely fun to jump in and play with your friends no matter what level you are, as long as you scale to the lowest character level or the lowest story experienced person in your party. It's definitely a ball of fun, and I would definitely highly recommend it. Now let's move on to some end game content. And here we are, guys, at the end game content. Now here you can see stuff such as myth rank, and you can actually see me inside here running a chaos chamber. Now think of this as a difficulty hard enough, for lack of a better word. So you run these with either online players or you can play them by yourself. However, the difficulty does definitely increase the higher you go up. Now the higher you can get in the chaos chambers, the higher you can get your chaos level, and that means when playing through the story, if you have a high chaos level, you can then also get increased loot, increased weapons, increased rarities. However, that does mean that the enemies are going to get even stronger, such as increased health. Maybe they may be immune to more elemental effects. They may be immune to explosions. Or it could just be that they explode on death, for example. And these are the exact effects that you can come across when fighting in these chaos chambers. Now, another thing is that when you hit level 40, which is your max level currently in the game at time of this review, is that once you have reached level 40, you can continue to level up, and you level up through myth rank. Now, myth rank gives you 1 myth point to add to your myth skill tree, and this means that you can then get added bonuses such as increased health regeneration, increased reload with an SMG, increased elemental damage, and it can definitely help you, and it's definitely something that you want to keep an eye on if you plan to run all of the chaos chambers. Now, inside these chaos chambers, you get a different type of currency called moon orbs. Now, moon orbs can be used a lot throughout the game. In the chaos chambers, they can be used to re-roll enchantments outside of the main story, or you can use them to re-roll perks such as this. On the right hand side, you'll see the little ammo, so that means that we will then get refreshed ammo. We will get increased health, increased shield. Typically at the end of every one, you will get a free refresh health and a free refresh ammunition, because the game doesn't want to put you at a detriment when you're going through, especially these high level ones, and you're going to be losing a lot of health and blasting through a lot of ammo. Another cool thing about these chaos chamber dungeons is that all of the enemies are randomized, and so are the bosses you come across. So midway through your chaos chamber, you'll get essentially a mini boss, and then at the end you'll fight a final boss. And you also can complete side challenges for a bit of extra loot and a bit of extra currency, like I mentioned before. So as you can see here on the right hand side, we have clear encounter. That's our main objective. And then on the right hand side below that one, there was protect the totem, and luckily we managed to do it. That's what you saw me doing. That's why I stayed in one place a lot during that fight, to protect that totem, just so we can get a couple extra bonus currency. Another thing is that when you get to the end of the dungeon, if you do so complete it, you can offer up your currency that you'll see me collecting here, and you can offer it to a shrine in, I believe, 2000s, and you can offer it up to get a new upgrade of an SMG. It's not guaranteed, obviously everything in this game is RNG, but every time that I've done it and I've experienced it, I've always got a better piece of loot. So you can do this for everything. You can do this from spells to weapons to shields to class mods. Everything that you get is always, in my experience, better, so it's definitely worth getting as much currency as you can throughout the game. Another thing I'd like to mention is that if anybody is going for the trophy hunter experience, I am more than happy to help you, especially in these Chaos Chambers. However, one of the trophies is to get to Chaos Chamber level 20. Now, it does not sound that hard, but especially as a solo player, if you're solo queuing and you want to try to do it all by yourself, I can promise you it is going to be difficult. Hence, even me in this, I had to queue up with randoms to try to get this complete. Luckily, I managed to pull it off right at the end. Everybody else seemed to either disconnect or die in the final boss fight, and they could not come back to help me, as you'll see in this gameplay. Now, to wrap it all up, guys and gals, personally, I love this game. I think it's a brilliant spin on the addition of the Borderlands series, and I would definitely recommend it, especially if you have a group of friends that is happy to run it with you. And the replayability for all of its classes, and to be able to split your classes and multi-class, brings you so many new possibilities. I'd love to see more additions to this game, because at the moment its limited DLC is very good. However, it's very grindy, so for me, I don't like that as much. I prefer more story driven things, and I would love to see a more story driven DLC with new areas, new weapons, new types of enemies, just like they have mentioned in the previous Borderlands series games. Now, guys, if you'd like to look at the game, it's link in bio for the PlayStation Store, as well as all of my socials. Now, guys, once again, please remember to leave a comment and tell me what you think. Tell me if you'd like to run this game, or especially if you need a hand, and I'll make sure to point you in the right direction, and I will try my best to help you guys out. So leave a like, drop a comment, subscribe if you're new here, hit that notification icon so you know when all of my videos go live, and hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next one. Feel free to watch the rest of the content so you can see the final boss fight. But for now, guys, that's me. See you in the next one.
A vial of vitality. It's needed.
anyway. You have it.
Darkness flees before the light. Glory, full bloom, I Healing to be had. Thunder's crash and lightning flash. Magic time!
Hero's journey ends here.
Glad you could join me.
Attack!
The glory of the storm! Ice shield! That's the
No more dodge. The forces of evil are mine.
Remember this. You could have run. Justice from on high! Positively justice! friends, to battle and glory!
Destruction! My skeleton
Smelling salts would have still worked.
Get ready to roll up a new character. Legions of Bone, attack!
They go slowly and well to the end. Go for the eyes. Time for a spell. You'll have to excuse the little one.
Duty for 1,000 years.